Hi guys, welcome to my channel. If you're learning English by yourself, you probably know how difficult it can be to find good resources. There are so many websites, apps, videos, and books out there that sometimes you don't even know where to start. So today, I want to share 5 resources that I find really useful for learning English. They can help you with different skills: reading, speaking, listening, and vocabulary. And the best part is that you don't need to use all of them. Just choose ones that work best for you. So, let's get started. Let's start with something for reading. The first website I want to show you is Linguasaur. If you want to start reading books in English but you're not sure what to choose, this website can be really useful. You can find books based on your level, so you don't have to start with something way too difficult. For example, let's choose this book. When I'm reading in English, I often come across words I don't know, and normally I'd have to stop reading, open a dictionary, and look up the words. But here, it's much easier. I can just click on the words and see the translation, so I can quickly check it and keep reading. But sometimes there is another problem. You might know all the words in a sentence but still not understand what the sentence actually means. If that happens, you can click on these 3 dots and translate the whole sentence. And you can also add new words to your vocabulary list and study them later. I think it's a really convenient way to read in English without constantly switching between different apps and dictionaries. So, if you are looking for an easy way to start reading in English, I definitely check out Linguasaur. Now, if reading isn't really your thing, let's move on to videos. The second resource is Ingvid. It's a website with lots of English lessons on different topics. You can find videos about grammar, vocabulary, pronunciation, phrasal verbs, idioms, and everyday English. For example, let's say I'm struggling with phrasal verbs. I can simply search for them and find different lessons on the topic. I really like the fact that there are different teachers. Sometimes you just don't understand something when one person explains it, but then you watch another explanation and suddenly you're like, oh, now I get it. So, if there is a particular English topic you are struggling with, you can search for it and find a lesson specifically about it. It's especially useful when you're studying by yourself and don't have a teacher who can explain something to you. Okay, now let's talk about listening. The third resource is daily dictation, and this one is especially useful if you can understand English when you read it but struggle to understand native speakers. Here is how it works. You listen to a sentence
Today is November 26th.
and exactly what you hear, so you really have to pay attention. Then you can check your answer and see what you missed. Maybe you didn't hear a word, maybe 2 or 3 words sounded like one. Or maybe the speaker connected the words together. And that's actually one of the things I like about dictation. It helps you notice how English sounds in real speech, not just how it looks in a textbook. You don't need to spend hours doing this. Even 5 or 10 minutes can be useful if you practice regularly. And now, let's move on to speaking. The first resource is shadowing. If you've never tried shadowing before, the idea is pretty simple. You listen to someone speaking and repeat what they say, trying to copy the way they speak. What I really like about this website is that you can choose different accents, celebrities, or even interviews to practice with. For example, I'm going to choose Emilia Clarke. Here, you can listen to the video one sentence at a time.
Oh, what we wear matters so much.
You can also slow it down if the speaker is talking too fast.
Oh, what we wear matters so much.
Then you listen to the sentence and repeat it. And when you're ready, you can watch and practice with the full video.
Oh, what we wear matters so much. It can transform your mood.
There is also an option to record yourself. So you can record your voice and then compare it with the original speaker. I think that's really useful because you can actually hear the difference between your pronunciation and the speaker's pronunciation. And you can try to copy not only the words, but also the rhythm, stress, and intonation. So, if you want to practice speaking with real English and make your pronunciation sound more natural, this is definitely a resource I'd recommend trying. And finally, we have Quizlet. I'm sure many of you have heard of it before, but I still wanted to include it because it's really useful for reviewing vocabulary. I use it to create flashcards with new words and expressions. For example, let's say I've just learned the word clutter. I can add the word here, then the meaning, and an example sentence. There is too much clutter in my room. And later, I can come back and review it. You can also find vocabulary sets created by other people, so you don't always have to create everything yourself. And there are different ways to practice the words, which makes reviewing vocabulary a little more interesting. But there is one thing I would recommend. Don't just memorize individual words. Try to learn them in context. For example, instead of memorizing clutter, learn there is too much clutter in my room. That's way you're learning not only the word, but also how to actually use it. So, these are 5 resources that can help you learn English. Linguasoft for reading, Engvid for video lessons, Daily Dictation for listening, Shadowing for speaking and pronunciation, and Quizlet for vocabulary. Of course, you don't have to use all 5. I think the most important thing is to find resources that you actually enjoy using, because if you enjoy the process, it's much easier to stay consistent. So now I'm curious, have you used any of these resources before? And if you have a favorite website, app, or method for learning English that I didn't mention, let me know in the comments. Maybe I'll try it and include it in another video. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!